Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, East Africa, and everybody else joining us from around the globe. I hope you are having a fantastic time wherever you are. And Karibuni Cocktail, that means welcome to our cocktail this August. My name is Sarah Adhiambo, and I will be your Sergeant at Arms this evening. And allow me to share the meeting etiquette. First and foremost, thank you to all of you for plugging in. You would have been anywhere else, but you decided to join us. So we appreciate you for that. First off, would like to have each and every one of us put their cameras on so that we can match your beautiful names to your faces. And I already see some people who have done that. Thank you very much. Madam Didi, the President, I see your faces, and everybody else who is putting on their cameras. Thank you so much. We would also like to have you name yourself. We'd also like to have you name yourself appropriately. So for instance, if you're joining from Dar Toastmasters or Arusha Toastmasters, then you can have your name followed by the name of your club. If you are a guest, then you could also attach that you are a guest after your name. If you are a new member here, because this is the reason why we're here this evening to celebrate you, so make sure you put on the attachment VIP, because guess what? This evening, you're the most very important person, and we are here to appreciate you. Additional meeting etiquettes, please have your audios off unless called upon to speak. And of course, we're asking you to have your cameras on. And we'd like to make this as engaging as possible. So in between the different sessions, kindly make sure that you're participating when called upon. And if you have any questions, please type them on the chat and they will be addressed as we move on. Otherwise, allow me to hand over to our Master of Ceremony this evening, no one else but Mr. CGD himself, Wilson Asimwe. Over to you, Mr. CGD. Wilson, are you on board?
If Wilson is not here, Madam SAA, allow me then to open on his behalf, and I will cede my session to him. Meanwhile, kindly follow up with him as I then get us underway. Fantastic. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. With special recognition of our guests of honor, the newest members of our District 114 family. Our members, and of course, the acting international president, distinguished Toastmaster Richard E. Peck, very warm welcome to you. Any of our guests who are non-Toastmasters, to our host, the District Club Growth Director, Wilson Asimwe, and to all members of the District Council present, all protocols duly observed. In the Southern Highlands of Tanzania, where I am from, it is the biggest honor and privilege to welcome a guest into your home. The guest receives the choicest plates of food, the best room in the house if they are an overnight guest, and extra special attention. The honor, however, comes in service. The privilege stems from the fact that the guest could have chosen to be anywhere, but they have made the choice to visit your house. And so it is with the same honor and privilege that as the current server and facilitator in chief in our District 114, that I welcome our newest members into the District 114 family. And it is with the same honor that I welcome our longer serving members who have chosen to dial in this evening and all of our guests. In Kiswahili, which is the language most widely spoken, or rather I should say the African language most widely spoken in East Africa, Karibu means welcome. And when we say Karibuni, it is a welcome that is extended to many. When used with the word sana, it becomes a superlative, meaning that you are very welcome. And therefore, Karibuni sana to our first Karibuni Cocktail of the 2022-2023 Toastmasters year. It is my distinct hope, it is my wish that each month we will continue to welcome members in growing numbers and continue taking our wonderful district from strength to strength. At this juncture, I would wish to welcome the district's Club Extension Chair, former division director, and in her own right, probably one of the most favorite Toastmasters in our district, Janie Mule, at this time to welcome our new members, welcome and recognize our new members. A very warm welcome to you, Toastmaster Janie Mule. Okay, well, I see Wilson. So Wilson, allow me to hand over to you and then you can introduce your team. Over to you, Club Growth Director, Wilson Asimwe.
Thank you very much. For those of you who thought this moment wouldn't happen, I hope you are surprised. I'm really excited because we have our international president here. As I said yesterday, we have over 120 clubs, that districts in the world. And if he decides to be here, it means that he wishes us well. Our district has been one of the best districts in the world since we were confirmed a few years ago. But we want to be the best this year. And it is possible because the members are excited. The teams have been formed and would like to encourage every one of you to support our vision. We would like to achieve SMEDLI as early as December this year so that in January, we start smashing records. It is possible because already the club I sponsored a few months ago registered 7 members in the last 4 days, and have been the first club to achieve the SMEDLI award. To all the new members, Toastmasters is such a wonderful organization. You have made the best choice in your lives. And I want to urge you to stay on, never think about leaving Toastmasters, because if you leave, then you're dropped and you can never access our resources. You lose all the benefits you've been used to. And for those of you who have been around for some time, you can testify that Toastmasters like a gym for fitness. If you stop attending meetings, if you stop participating actively, then you don't benefit from the Toastmasters program. And at this moment, I would like to ask a few seasoned Toastmasters to share why they joined Toastmasters and why they've stayed. Is Jenny Muller there?
Yes, I am, Mr. CGD. My name is Jenny Muller. I have been a Toastmaster for 4 years. And yes, I must say, I first joined Toastmasters because anytime I got up to speak, my stomach got watery and I couldn't breathe and my mouth got dry. So I joined Toastmasters to improve on my public speaking. But Toastmasters and guests, I stayed because of the people I have met here. Not only do I grow my communication skills, not only have I grown my leadership skills, but I have made wonderful friends in Toastmasters. Back to you, Mr. Asimwe.
John, can you tell us why you stayed? Why you joined Toastmasters and why you stayed? John Zero, Division A Director.
For those who know me would know that I would be loud in one-on-one conversations, but when it comes to speaking in public, my voice for some reason would just disappear. And Toastmasters helped me gain my voice back. Back in 2018, where I attended meetings in Arusha Toastmasters, I was comfortable attending, but not taking on roles. But I saw growth in me after taking on roles and giving speeches. So that's why I keep on staying, because it's fun. And also seeing growth in others is one of the things that excites me until now. So this is why I'm also staying as a Toastmaster, because it is rewarding. Back to you, Wilson.
Thank you very much, John. As I said, Toastmasters is like a gym for our fitness. If you stop, you lose shape. And so I would like to encourage all of us to stay and enjoy the benefits of being Toastmasters. I would like now to give a chance to our new members to share why they joined our fraternity and, of course, some of their goals. Anyone ready? Any new member wants to share?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Wamboi Jen from Business Dialogues. We just got chartered the other day, and I joined Toastmasters because I want to be a public speaker, and I find I use a lot of filler words, and I want to be able to be thinking on the spot. Thank you.
I was just saying that those filler words are difficult to get rid of, but in Toastmasters, because we have our counters who are always helping us to get rid of them, eventually you'll get rid of them and become a remarkable speaker. Anyone else wants to share why they joined Toastmasters? New members?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Paps Wanyuki. I'm a life coach. Yeah, and so I just want to keep on improving in terms of my output and how I communicate. That's why I'm interested in joining the Toastmasters.
Fantastic, fantastic. Toastmasters is a wonderful organization. Anyone else wants to share why I've joined our fraternity?
Hi, my name is Dawn.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Joanne, and I joined Toastmasters to become a better speaker and presenter.
Better speaker and presenter. You are going to be a better speaker and presenter very soon if you don't think about leaving Toastmasters. Is that okay? All right, someone else, can you share why we joined Toastmasters?
Hi,
Good evening.
everyone. My name is Remedy.
Yes,
From Kenya, Blue Eagles. So today is my first day in Toastmasters, and why I decided to join is everybody thinks I am that strong person who doesn't get scared talking in front of people, but they don't know how much I sweat, how much I use filler words. So for me, that is my why. Thanks.
yeah. Everyone has got butterflies. The first time I stood before the audience at Bokoto, I almost ran away from the meeting, but I decided to stay, and right here, now I can speak before different audiences. Any other new member wants to share why they joined us?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Prudence Mutune from Interesting Club, Kenya. And the reason why I joined Toastmasters is because I needed to sharpen my presentation skills, because I realized in my line of duty, I'm required to do much of that. And therefore, that is my key reason why I joined.
Yes, your line of duty, you're required to speak all the time. And this is why I think we can grow Toastmasters beyond imagination, because most of us are involved in activities that require us to speak all the time, and therefore we need these skills that will make us remarkable speakers. All right. I would now like to request my brother, Division F Director, Jesse Ainebiona, to talk about our wonderful Pathways curriculum. Jesse is a past area director, past president of Bokoto, and he has nurtured several Toastmasters across our district. Over to you, Jesse, to talk about our Pathways curriculum.
Thank you, CGD Wilson. I'm delighted to be here this evening to share with you one of the most exciting segments of the Toastmasters program. Let me quickly pick up my slides and we take it away. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen so that I know that we are good to go. All right, thank you so much. Great, so Toastmasters has got an amazing program, and I would like to start with our mission, because the mission of Toastmasters International is the why behind everything that we do. Our mission, our goal, and our focus is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. That is the bedrock for everything that we do in Toastmasters. In order for us to achieve this, we need to have a vehicle. For me, I look at Pathways, our Pathways learning experience, as the vehicle that is going to help us to become more confident communicators and leaders. Pathways is a program that has got 11 unique paths that are designed to help you to achieve your goals. What happens is that you take an assessment for you to find the best fit for you. Sometimes you may know what you really want, but it's always good for you to do an assessment so that you can clarify your needs and be able to take the best possible path. Now, there are 11 paths and you are free to take one, finish it, pick up another one, do it, and on until you finish all the 11 paths. We have Toastmasters that have done all the 11 paths. So you're not limited to finishing only one or two, you can go all the way. Currently, I'm on my third path. You also have an opportunity to build up to 300 unique competences. One of our new members said that she is a marriage coach. Now, I'm reminded that one time we hosted a Toastmasters International president called Barraj Arunasalam, and he made a joke when he said that we have all kinds of competences. Even if you want to become a better husband, there is a competence for you to become a better husband. If you want to become a better wife, there is a competence that is going to enable you to become a better wife. So that is Pathways. It has got 300 unique competences. And these are real-world transferable skills. Each path has got 5 levels, and we are going to look at them shortly. So those are the 11 paths. Each of those paths, the 5 core competences are public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. So by the time you go through those paths, those are the 5 core competences that you're going to acquire. But remember, there are many other competences that you will acquire in addition to those 5 as you go through the paths. As you can see on the screen, those are the 11 paths. We have dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationships, team collaboration, and visionary communication. So your first path is free. You can pick it up and start right away. Moving on, in each of those paths, there are levels that we go through. So I'm just going to go through the levels quickly and briefly. In level 1, we do what we call mastering the fundamentals. And level 1 is the same across all the paths. It involves you writing your icebreaker speech, learning how to write a speech with purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, and then evaluation and feedback. That is the foundation of your journey as you begin to become a confident and effective speaker. As you go to level 2, you begin to learn your style. It involves understanding your leadership style, understanding your communication style, and then being introduced to Toastmasters mentoring. So it's more about understanding yourself and learning your style. In level 3, you will begin to get to a place we call increasing knowledge. That's where you go a little bit deeper in understanding the path that you have taken. There will also be electives, and then level 4, and finally level 5. So those are the levels that we go through. They are levels that keep growing in increasing complexity. So as you ascend, they become a bit more complex for you to learn leadership, because I always believe that you learn how to lead by leading. There are projects where you'll be required to do projects. For example, you could be doing a project in the community, you could be doing something in your club. All those are opportunities for you to become a better leader. Some of the electives, and these are some of the most exciting parts of the program, there is a cocktail of electives from which you can choose one of your choice. So you have electives like active listening, connecting with storytelling at level 3. At level 4, you will have electives like building a social media presence, creating a podcast. I particularly like this because they are relatable to the current day life and work that we deal with. And then in level 5, you can see that you begin to learn how to lead a team, high performance leadership, moderating a panel, to mention but a few. So what next? You are going to get in touch with your Vice President Education. They will help you to know how to log in. And when you log in, you can choose your path and you can straight away get to your project. Your first project will be your icebreaker project. Everybody begins with the icebreaker project. And as you continue to go and grow through your path, you will be recognized. Every level you finish, you receive a certificate. For example, that was the certificate I received upon completion of level 1, and then level 2, and then level 3. And when you complete 3 levels in 1 year, you receive what we call a triple crown. My hope and wish for you is that this year you will become a triple crown winner. As you do that, you'll also help your club to become distinguished. Thank you very much. I'll hand back to you, CJD Wilton.
Thank you very much, DTM, Jason, and Yona. I've never found a better person who talks about the pathways curriculum. And that's why when I was looking for role takers, I couldn't think about any other person. Thank you so much, Jesse. I hope our new members have picked something, but I'm also sure that our divisions and areas are going to hold refresher training sessions for them to understand this curriculum better. Didi Emilia, are you there?
I am, Wilson, but because we lost time, I think we should move on to our guest of honor.
Okay, we still had 5 minutes for you to talk about our district. So I'll be inviting him at 7:30. Is it okay?
That is fine.
All right, go ahead.
Wonderful. Good evening once again to everyone who has dialed in. A very warm welcome to District 114 and to this Karibuni Cocktail. I started the meeting by speaking about the honor and privilege of service. The reason for that is because the member is at the apex of the Toastmaster structure. You are the body, both individually and collectively, who matter. Everyone else is here in service of the member, remembering that we too are members, so also in service to each other. So remember to put yourself first, your journey first as a Toastmaster, because our only job be it as club leaders, area leaders, division leaders, and otherwise, is simply to facilitate your Toastmasters journey. And this evening, if you leave with absolutely nothing else, remember that your journey matters. Remember your why. CGD Wilson asked, why did you join? For those of you who are longer serving members, remember, why are you still here? Let that why continue to motivate your journey. Make sure that you share that why with your mentor. If you haven't been assigned a mentor in your club, reach out to your vice president for education, reach out to any other club leader and ask for a mentor. Speak about the reason why you joined and what it is that you expect to achieve. Because when you attend a meeting, when you take up a role, when you deliver speeches and start to receive the certificates that Jessie just spoke about, let your journey be propelled by a reason that matters to you. And make sure that your club leaders, your area leaders, your division leaders know what that is so that we can serve you better. So let me speak a little bit about the types of support that we can lend to you in your journey. As District 114 this year, we have decided to come together with a call to action, be the best. Best standing for B, build. We want to build up your confidence. We want to build new clubs. E, for empower. We want to empower the individual to become more confident as leaders, more confident as speakers, more confident as communicators. We want to support you in your journey, whatever path that takes, however long you wish for it to be. We want to support your journey. And T, we want to work collectively as a team. So T for teamwork. So be the best, yes, strive to be the best that you can, but remember, let's build each other up, empower, support, and work together as a team. That is our rallying cry, our call to action in District 114 this year. And we don't want to leave anyone behind. So if you have a question for your club leaders, ask. If you have a question for us, send a message to suggestions@district114.org. And we promise that within 1 to 2 business days, we will come back to you. Suggestions@district114.org. No question is stupid or silly or irrelevant. No suggestion or comment is irrelevant. We will receive them and we will come back to you. We are here to serve. You are the ones who matter. Thank you, and back to you, Club Growth Director Wilson Asimo.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for our District Director, Emilia Siwingwa. That is a powerful message. Put your journey first. We are here to help you. Don't fail to ask questions because we are here to answer your questions. Hold your leaders accountable. I've looked at all the top clubs and there's only one unique thing about them. It's about the leaders who serve their members well. So I would like to urge you to serve your members well. And at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, please unmute your videos because I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight. Please unmute your videos and show him some love. I would like you to unmute your videos. Okay. Our guest speaker tonight is the international president of Toastmasters. He has been a Toastmaster since 2006. And DTM Richard Peck is a member of his home club, Nutmeg. He's also a member of Park City Toastmasters in Stratford. He has a number of high-profile leadership positions within Toastmasters. He says, to be Toastmasters is about making a positive, life-changing impact on individuals throughout the world. Through Toastmasters, we have the ability to change the world one member at a time. As an officer of Toastmasters International Board of Directors, DTM Richard Peck is a working ambassador for the organization. He works with the board to develop, support, and modify the policies and procedures that guide Toastmasters International. Please make some noise and welcome our guest speaker, DTM Richard Peck.
Thank you, Club Growth Director Wilson Asimwe. What a pleasure to be with District 114 in East Africa today. I've traveled to West Africa. I've traveled to South Africa. And now my journey takes me to East Africa. And the receptions never fail to just take my breath and heart away, because you are all so welcoming. And to the district director, thank you for the invite. I often tell people you'll miss 100% of the opportunities you never take. You took the chance, invited me, and it just so happened that my schedule was available, and I'm honored to be here. Great conversation from your district director today about the why. Why we join, why we stay. Why? So today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 or 4 separate whys. 1, the why I joined. What got me involved at Toastmasters in 2006? 2, the why I stay. What keeps me going? What kept me going through the pandemic? What kept you going through the pandemic? Why I see myself continuing for the long term and not just saying, when my term is over, my term is over. And 4th, why I think you should stay. If you haven't joined already, why you should join. So let's start with the first why. Why did I join Toastmasters? All right, I'm going to be honest. I had never heard of Toastmasters. How many of you can remember that? What is Toastmasters? Never heard of them before. I had never heard of Toastmasters. But how then did I find out about it? Well, I attended a How to Become a Millionaire seminar. All right, by show of hands, how many of you want to know how to become a millionaire? Well, I know I did. And I learned how to become a millionaire at that event. It was to be the guy on the stage selling the product from in the back of the room to the person sitting in my seat. Made lots of wealthy people that day. One of them wasn't me. But I was talking to the MC of that event a little bit later in the hallway, who I'd never met before. Just so happened our paths crossed, kind of the way things happen in life. And it was a gentleman by the name of Les Brown. Anyone ever heard of Les Brown before? World noted motivational speaker. Yeah, what a really cool guy he is. We had this great conversation in the hallway. He asked me if I had ever thought about getting involved in public speaking, which I hadn't, because let's be honest, this term public speaking is scary. Not only that, I was midterm in my career. I was doing okay. I didn't really see a need for a change. But he kept talking about it and carrying on. He liked my voice, thought that I could do something with it, but I just really wasn't ready to commit or make a change at that point. He gave me his business card and we exchanged pleasantries and I went on my way. Returned to my office and a couple weeks later of that constant, why am I in this little box all day long, poking my head up just to see when somebody passes by? There's got to be something different out there. So I called Les up, figured I'd take a shot. Maybe he'll answer the phone, maybe he won't. And he did, he answered the phone. I said, Les, I don't know if you remember me or not. He goes, I remember your voice, I know exactly who you are. I said, Les, you had mentioned going into public speaking. If someone wanted to do that, what would you recommend? And the first words out of his mouth were find a Toastmasters club and join. We talked again for a little longer and then I hung up the phone and I immediately went to Google, Toastmasters.org near me, and found a club very similar to the way many of you find your clubs. It was convenient. It met near my house. I attended the first meeting. And what I noticed was how welcoming the people were. That it just made you feel like you were a member when you got there, whether you were or not. And I decided to join. That, for area directors in the room, made my area director very happy for a couple of reasons. One, it made my club, the club that I joined, distinguished because that was their last member they needed to become distinguished. And he only needed one more club to become distinguished to be a distinguished area director. So he got a twofold off of my membership that day. But I joined that club and I learned something immediately. I knew how to speak. I didn't know how to communicate. And there's a big difference between speaking and communicating. A prime example is when you say something to somebody, have a conversation with somebody, and they don't understand, can't relate to what you're saying because you may not be communicating it properly. And when they say it back to you, go, the first thing out of your mouth is, that's not what I said. Well, it might not be what you said, but it's what they heard because the communication piece wasn't there. The words you use, the way you say them, is all part of communication. That look on your face where you go, yes, I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you for inviting me. Is that really communicating that I'm happy to be here and I'm really excited that I'm speaking in East Africa today? No, it doesn't. So there's that aspect of it that you learn, that it's more than just the words, it's how you say them. It's the communication aspect of it. And that's what makes the difference. That's what unites people is communication. And it took me a really long time to learn that. It also took me a long time to learn to be vulnerable when I speak. Because we often put a barrier between ourselves and others and what we want to share. For several reasons. One, it may make people view us differently. Maybe not in the good light as we would like it to be. It may be that people look at a leader weaker. Maybe if they're asking questions, asking for help. If a district director comes to me asking for help, that's a wise district director. That's not a weak district director because they know their limits and they look for help. And that's what we want. There's a story that I refused to tell for a number of years because I felt it made me too vulnerable. And I finally delivered it in a keynote session about taking responsibility for your past. You just have to accept it. What happened, it is what it is. So I delivered the speech, and during it, I was talking about the fact in 2009, I was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer. And I had the surgery and the chemo and the radiation and all that goes along with it. But I didn't want people to look at me differently because of that story. I got off the stage and was wandering through the crowd, and a member came up to me and put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Thank you for sharing that story." I said, "Well, you're welcome. Why are you thanking me?" He said, "Because I'm getting ready to go through that same surgery. And I needed to hear that it would be okay." That's where you as speakers, as communicators, make a difference. That's my why in staying. Because we make a difference. The difference that we make doesn't have to be huge, though. It just needs to be a little change at a time. If I was in the room with you, and I know the screen makes it a little bit different, I would ask you if you think you make a positive change in the members in your club. And most people would raise their hand, right? We're making a change in the members of our club, and I'll ask them about their division, their district, their community, and everyone will pretty much raise their hand. When I ask them if I think they could change the world, very few people put their hand up. And it's because they think they have to try to change this huge world with billions of people and countries and cultures. And you don't. You have to change the world for one person. And every time a Toastmasters member joins, every time you give them that encouragement, that clap, that applause, that icebreaker win, it changes them. Gives them confidence, makes them feel that they have power to do something. I remember when I first joined, and VP presidents, you're going to remember this. You have a guest come into the room, might have even been you. The first thing we do to our guest, would you like to take on a table topic? Seasoned Toastmasters look at their feet in fear when the table topics master comes up to the room, yet we're asking a guest to do it. The guest gets up there, they're shaking, they're nervous, they lose color in their face. The president doesn't know if they're going to pass out, make the time. But the VP of Ed is going, "Thanks, table topic master, you just cost me another one." They're not coming back. Membership person doesn't know what they're going to do to try and save it. Yet that person comes back, and you clap and you encourage and you cheer them on. And the next thing you're doing is they're giving speeches on a regular basis. They're competing in contests. They've developed that confidence. You've made a change in the world of one person. If we all do that, if 365,000 of us can do that, with one person, that's 365,000 lives we've changed. And that just continues. That's why I stay in Toastmasters, because I see how we can make a change in the lives of others. We can make a change in our own lives. There's a reality and realization that we start to have about our confidence, our ability. That vulnerability is good. It's not bad. That what we're going through, someone else is. And we can help. Think about these last 2 years that we've gone through, this nasty pandemic we've been dealing with, where we had to be separated. We couldn't be together. We could have made several choices. We could have just stopped, not going on Zoom, not been able to interact, and stop making a change, stop making a difference. But instead, we took up Zoom. And yes, I know we're all tired of living in this little box on our screen. I'd like to be outside of it, so would I. But we've given a different opportunity to the world. We've given an opportunity for the world to come visit us, for us to go visit the world. If it wasn't for Zoom, I wouldn't be here today, meeting new friends in District 114, being able to share a story with you, being able to answer questions and answers in a little bit from you. If it wasn't for the pandemic and Zoom, I wouldn't have spoken to 143 countries during my world tour. Each one of those countries I visited, each one of those clubs I visited, made a difference in my world. And those members started traveling around the world to visit you and visit clubs in 114 and 74 and 94 and clubs around the world. And we made a difference in making the world smaller. And if we all just have that one idea where we make a change, where we make an impact, that's a why to stay. That is a why to stay. One of your members during the introductions of why they joined Toastmasters said they want to become an inspirational speaker. That's great. This is the place to do it. That's your why. But remember, your why won't be sitting in the back of the room while others are giving speeches. Your why is to be an inspirational speaker. So align with that. Figure out what it takes to get up there and speak. In strategic planning, many people are familiar with SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. There's another one out there called Soar Analysis. And if I was giving you a different keynote, I'd talk to you more about this. But Soar Analysis stands for strengths, opportunities, aspirations, and results. And I encourage clubs and districts, members, to conduct a SOAR analysis on themselves. And so to the member who said they want to be an international inspirational speaker, you know what you're aspiring to be. That's the A in your analysis, your strategic plan for yourself. What are your strengths and what are your opportunities to develop? And then what are the results that are going to tell you that you've achieved that status? Maybe District 114 says, hey, you know what? We want you to keynote our conference because you become an inspirational speaker. And then that provides you that instant, that ability, that change. We all have our own whys. Our journeys are separate, but our journeys aren't alone. We take others with us as we go. It might not be for the entire journey, but it is for a short period of time. My journey with you today will end when this Karibuna, is that Karibuna? I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. It's the first one I've ever been to. But when this ends today, my journey here will end, but my journey with you won't, because I will have taken part of you with me. That's a why. That's a why. Every impact you make, every change you make, every time you give a speech, every time you step forward and take on a role, you gain something to your why. Think about the people around you. Think about who you are, what you can contribute, and what you can do for others. Think about what others can do to help you. If a leadership member calls you up and says, are you willing to help? Say yes. I said yes in 2008, and look where I am now. This wasn't my why, but my why changed over time, and my why will continue to change. And that's what you need to look at as well. I wish you all many years of success. I wish you all great success on whatever goals you have set for yourself, whatever your why is. I'll share you my email address before we leave today. If you want to send me your why, send me your why. I'd love to hear about it. But never give up. Never give up. Roadblocks and barriers aren't there to stop you. They're not. They're there to give you the opportunity to rethink. It only becomes a barrier if you let it stop you. There's always a way around something. You just have to find it. Madam District Director, I wish District 114 all the success this year. I know your why is to help your members achieve the best versions of themselves they can and to help the district grow. To our Program Quality Director and Club Growth Director, I wish you all the best as well. And I know that the support of this team, I am going to see District 114 on the top of that list next year. After all, District 94 and 74 were on it this year. If District 114 put a big sweep at the top, that would be great. I'm always just an email away from everybody. That's my commitment to you, and that's my why. Mr. Club Growth Director Wilson Asimwe, I turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please unmute your videos and appreciate. Richard Epek. What a wonderful speech. I'm sure the leaders who are here are inspired. I like the fact that you said we should think about saying yes instead of running away from responsibilities. And I want to urge all the new members to always participate in their club activities and pursue their educational goals. That is when they're going to achieve excellence in our district. And I would like to give my brother, John Zira, Division A Director, to take a few questions, maybe just 2 questions because we don't have time. 2 questions for our keynote speaker. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Club Growth Director Wilson. Indeed, this has been a powerful session, and thank you so much to you, our keynote speaker, Acting International President. Yes, please go with this, that go east, go west, East Africa is the best. Here we have it, and you'll hear 2 questions from 2 of our members. Let's hear it from whoever wants to go first. Please put it on the chat box. Don't unmute first. Put it on the chat box so we go with the question, and the second one could come after. Let's hear it from you. No one yet? Yes, we hear that it has been a stellar speech indeed. It has communicated to me, and I've internalized that. That is from Aman Kwitonda. And anyone else would like to share, please put it on the chat box. Profound President, that is Andrea Carla Isaacs, if I got it right. If you have a question, please put it on the chat box before we roll it out. Yes, onwards we move. No questions so far. Is it because we were told that he is 1 email away that's why we're reserving the question for the email? Let's put it on the chat box. Yes, here we have Lorraine Wangai saying, how do I achieve my aim, which is learning to maintain eye contact online? We're going with that. Let's hear it from you. Then the next question will come from someone else. Let's get that first. Over to you.
Thank you for that question. That's an interesting one because I often have a hard time doing that too, because I'm used to looking around the room when I speak. So I'm looking around saying, okay, am I engaged? Are people smiling? Are they sleeping? Are they bored? Some people will say to put an image up at the top of your camera, a face to look at, a friendly face to look at, so you have something there to look at. My camera on my laptop has a white dot in the center that allows me to know where I'm supposed to be focusing. So I have that eye contact. It's strange though to be constantly staring in one spot. Now I'm going to tell you the risk that comes along with this. I just witnessed it the other day and I made the connection. We're all used to looking at that dot or whatever we're looking at there so that we maintain that eye contact. I went and watched an individual do a speech in person for the first time just the other day. And he had a hard time making contact with the audience, looking around at people, because he was so used to just looking in one direction that even when he moved side to side, his eyes followed the direction he moved. So this has not been a good thing, I think, for us when we get back in person. But again, it's that dot that's like I have on mine here, or put the image of somebody that you'd like to look at, pleasant in front of you, family member, friend, whatever, so that you can learn. And then if you do that, if it's a person's picture, you can almost relate to giving a speech to that person and speaking to that person. So that could help with that.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that and for that tip. Another question comes from Janie Mule from Kikuyu Town, Toastmasters, and she says, DTM Peck, how did you get to being international president? Briefly, how's that journey like?
Because I didn't say no to any leadership opportunity that was given to me in the past. When asked if I'd be willing to take something on, I took it on. The goal for me, though, was not to become international president. If you would have asked me that in 2006 when Jenna was absolutely not, no way, not interested, not why I'm here. And I think that is a good way of approaching things. So if you're an area director right now, don't focus on the division director's role. Don't focus on the CGD or the PGD or PQD or the DD. Because if you're an area director now and you say, I want to become a district director, you're going to miss the opportunities that you have as the area director. And the same thing for every role in between. Division directors, don't look forward that far forward. Look at where you need to be now. My philosophy is always to be the best in the role that I'm in. And the next role will come to be. And I also wanted to caution this. Oftentimes, especially at district levels, we run unopposed for various offices. There's very little challenge for division director or trio members. That may not be in your district, it is in others. What happens there? Well, if we're constantly running opposed, we always think we're doing the best we can possibly do, right? Hey, I won. Well, actually, you didn't win anything. That was a realization for me, because it wasn't until I was challenged against somebody that I realized that I needed to step my game up, that I had need to continue to work on my leadership skills in order to be successful. So don't just rest on what you've always done as being the best you can do, because no, you can always find something to challenge yourself a little bit more. How many of you thought you would ever want to plan a conference? Probably not a lot of you, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking for conference planners this year. And what a great opportunity to take on something that's a time-bound role, but can make an impact on so many people. And you're not doing it alone. Try not to do these things alone. We don't make leaders if we just do it by ourselves. We need to encourage others. So long story, but it was never to focus on the international president's role. It was to just focus on being the best I could be at that role. Best speaker I could be, best leader I could be, best evaluator I could be, best Toastmaster I could be.
Great. Yeah, that's encouraging enough. Ladies and gentlemen, he did not say no, and you can be a little bit more by challenging yourself. And we hear other comments. We get some comments from others who say, thank you, International President Richard Peck. I've noted the new SWOT analysis, SOAR analysis. Thank you for that. And one more question, if at all time allows, we'll have one. There's always time for more. We have the International President here with us. Why not? Was there a time you ever felt like quitting Toastmasters? What kept you going, and did you get your new why?
I'll tell you, there wasn't a time that I can recall where I ever thought of leaving Toastmasters. There were times when I doubted my ability as a Toastmaster. Leading through the pandemic, there was lots of doubt. You know, how do I lead an entire organization in this situation? How do I help you lead in this situation? How do I help our members adapt? So there was a lot of self-doubt, I think, that came into it. But I didn't think of quitting. What I thought about was, how do I build the confidence? And that's why I mentioned earlier, we don't take our journeys alone. People don't join us for the entire time, but they help us out during those steps of the journey. So when I had doubts, I would reach out to other leaders who I knew were going through the same situation and talk to them about how they were dealing with it, what their experiences were. If I felt that I wasn't doing a great job as a speaker, I'd reach out to other speakers to say, what am I doing wrong? Am I not capturing the audience? Did my speech fall flat? And worst part for speakers, I'm about to write something on LinkedIn about this, is we get off the stage and we go, I killed it. And it's not the exciting I killed it. It's I killed it because I left that speech dead on the platform because I didn't deliver it properly. Right? And you talk to the individuals about that. There's one thing that's often underutilized, but there's more people out there available to you than you could think about, is mentoring. And now with Zoom, you're not limited to who your mentors can be. You can find individuals around the world to help you out. So I would say, if you're having that doubt, if you're thinking that it's not for you, one, take an honest approach at why. Why is it not for you? Maybe it's a club environment thing. Maybe you're not getting an opportunity to give speeches because your club is very big. Guess what? There's clubs on the other side of the world that would love to hear from you, and you can give a speech there. But really take that internal feel and make a decision. And sometimes that is the right decision, but oftentimes it's just because there's a lack of something that can be easily fixed.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our videos on. There's something, maybe someone might be lucky to have a conversation with Richard Peck, DTM. Please turn on your videos. Those who can, let's do that. Yes, I see you, Rachel from Tamarind. I see you, Jesse, of course. I see you, Timer Amand. Anyone else? I see Claire Macaria. And now I'll do a random ask to someone if they have a comment they'd like to share with the president, and I'll have to select one person. So don't unmute yet. And if you have a question, well and good. And here we have it. Let me go to Claire Kiaire Macharia. Please, if you have any comment or anything you'd like to share with us or the international president, please go ahead. This is your opportunity.
Thank you so much for a wonderful, wonderful speech. I feel very motivated. I have recently joined the executive committee, and I'm just curious, how did you do it? There is so much work beyond the normal preparing for a speech. And sometimes you're wondering, there's no pay, there's no performance of some sort. Is it really worth all the effort? I would love to hear that. Thank you.
Interesting question. Yeah, it can be overwhelming, especially if it's a new club trying to figure out all those pieces. It can be overwhelming if you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, if the club or district is constantly changing and churning, then it can seem overwhelming because you're constantly starting over and not building off of best practices. You also don't have to try and do it all by yourself. If there's too much work, you need to let your president know, listen, there's only so much I can do. If I can get help, if I can get an assistant vice president of education, I'm all for that. If I can get somebody who can help enter things in on the website, I'm all for that. But no leader will let you fail. No leader should let you fail. So, you know, so that is something that is not easy to work out, but can be worked out. You mentioned the statement about there's no pay. Is there really no pay? So the reason I asked that question is, how do you look at pay? Is pay monetary, or is pay in what you gain? And I will tell you the one thing in life, and this is just my philosophy for what it's worth. The one thing in life no one can ever take away from you is what you learn. They can take away everything else that you have. They can't take away what you learn. And you can never put a price on knowledge. So to me, that says that what we're gaining is priceless. And how could somebody pay us for that?
Great. Thank you so much. That was insightful. And I believe, Kiarie, you gained something from that. For you to ask the next and last question, you have to have your video on. So I see the hands up, but I'd like to have your video on. But we have comments in the chat box from Iconic Toastmasters, excellent, Mr. President. Krunali says that, thank you, Mr. President, you are amazing. Juanita Nangobi says, thank you so much, International President. It has been an honor to hear from you. And there we have it. Should I have, yes, I have a question from Andrea Carla. Andrea, if I've said it right, it's Andrea or Andrea, please go ahead and share.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the meeting. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. President Peck, first I would like to congratulate you on a profound presentation this evening. I really enjoyed your presentation. My question is not in relation to your presentation. My question is this. I've been a Toastmaster for 2 years now. 2nd of August would have made me 2 years. And I would have completed 5 paths in 2 consecutive Toastmasters year. I've noticed that there are 11 paths in pathways. I am suggesting that we could add another path and make it 12 and improve that to level it up to make it an equal number. That path I'm suggesting is conflict resolution. Now, how do we go about adding such a path to Toastmasters? Because we know that we are all different, we have different challenges, but I believe if we have a path that is conflict resolution, it will change the whole landscape of Toastmasters. Secondly, what requirements are there for me if I should run for international president? What are the criteria for me? I'm currently working on my GCN, and I also have my eyes on international president in the near future. And if you don't know, I'm from Guyana. So this is my flag around my shoulder. So that's my question to you. That's my take on Toastmasters in general, because once I join Toastmasters, I'm a Toastmaster for life, and I intend to improve this great organization. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Andrea. I'll try to make this brief because I know the time constraints here. One, for the pathways piece, I'm going to share my email address. Send me an email on it. I'll make sure it gets forwarded to the right teams. I'm not so sure it's a path per se, but it sounds to me something like could be as a webinar or something along those lines. I'm not the instructional developer to say, okay, we can build 5 speeches into conflict resolution. I don't know that. So I wouldn't try to take that on. How do you become international president? What qualifications are? Have you served as on any roles in district leadership?
Not as yet. I was in competition, so I wasn't qualified to be a part of that. So in December, I will be running.
Okay. So first we need to get through the district trio level. Then we can run for international director and get through that level. And then if you get through the international director level, you can try to run for the international president's level. So you said short term. Let's assume that you were to get elected. I'm going to say assume you get elected in 2023. CGD, PQD, 23, 24, 25, year off 26, 27, depending on the region, or 28, you could run for international director. Let's assume again, you get elected in 2028, 2029, 2030 would be your term as international director, year to campaign, run for international president. 2031 would be probably the closest you're going to get to in a short period of window. So it's not, you can't run next year. It's going to be a number of years before you get there. That's why I say, focus on the role you're in, be the best you can be at that, because by 2031, you may say, I have no interest in that. Guess what? I become a motivational speaker. I'm making lots of money, and that's where I'm going to continue my time.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, International President. Yes, and bold ask, Andrea, that was a good one, and you've inspired us. Now I'm taking it back to the Club Growth Director. And for those there are more comments and questions in the chat box, but we hear it from the rest. There's Elizabeth Akinyo-Wino who says, you always inspire International President, and many others, including Andrea. Andrea, you are having some comments here, and you're welcome. To Tamarind Toastmasters, Rachel is saying, Andrea, I love your courage. Dreams are valid. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. It has been an honor, and it has been a pleasure. I'm taking it back to the Club Growth Director. Over to you.
Mute. Can you mute? Thank you. Thank you very much, Division A Director John Nzira. That was a very exciting session. I would like to thank all of you for staying on after 1 hour had elapsed, but this was a very exciting session. In fact, it would go on for 3 hours. I would like you to unmute your videos before I deliver my closing remarks. Unmute your videos, please. And I would like to request John or Didi to take some photos. They want to appear with our International President. Please unmute your videos if you can. All right, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Please unmute your videos. These are very exciting photos. You may never appear on the same page with the International President.
Maybe someday I'll appear right there with you in person.
All right, thank you so much. This has been the biggest Karibuni Cocktail since the idea was confirmed last year. And I think we should be grateful to our chief guest, Acting International President Richard E. Peck, because you're such a crowd puller. And for all the words of wisdom, you have encouraged us, and I'm confident that we're going to be the best in the world. I used to think that international presidents are inaccessible, but you've given us your email address, and we shall always be contacting you. So ladies and gentlemen, we want you that we have a final toast. And can you please charge your glasses and we toast to our chief guest. So I would like you to charge your glasses and join me in toasting to Acting International President Richard E. Peck. I wish him all the best. I wish him good health and happiness in the world.
The International President.
Thank you so much. The session has ended, and let's play some music and enjoy ourselves. You may stay, you may leave. Thank you so much for all you've done.
Will I see the district trio in Nashville?
It's only one coming.
Who's coming?
Amelia is coming.
Amelia is coming? Amelia,
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting you in person.
Forward to meeting you as well. I hope Wilson and Connie will make it as well. We're still pushing for visas, but if visas can come through, then I hope all three of us will be there.
I hope so. I was messaging with District 94 through Patrick Aluyede the other day.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get a visa appointment for nearly 2 years for an interview.
Wow.
Which was extremely, extremely different to see. So Frida, who said what's happening in Nashville, the international convention is taking place in just about a week and a half. Everybody can participate. We have online access as well. If you go out to the Toastmasters.org website under the events link, you can learn all about the convention. Your district leaders are going to be there so that they can get some additional training to help all the leaders and members in the district out. I am going to take my leave. It was a pleasure to be with you today. I truly do hope I get a chance to meet many of you in person at some point in time in the future. Please know that you've made an impact on me, that this will continue to be part of my journey going forward, even if it's just a little step along the way. I wish you much success, good health, and great speeches. I'll take my leave.
We wish you the same.
DJ, all the macho, bingo, bingo.